Hey my friends, welcome back to this channel, or welcome to this channel if you're new. If you are new, I'm Ray. Me and Felicia have owned this grocery store for about 3 years now. We built it from the ground up and we're here today, and this channel is all about how we have grown a small business into being decently successful, I'd say, and all about personal finance. If you're into that, you may like our channel and may wish to subscribe. And if you want to support this small business and this channel, please hit the like button. Thanks for coming along with this crazy dream, and bearing with me rambling and ranting or raving sometimes about this store. So today I want to go in a different gear. Usually we're always telling you what's next, what's coming, how to build a small business. I wanted to give you the exact reality of what comes with owning a small business, whether it be a small restaurant, a cafe, a grocery store, a convenience store. I want to give you the inside scoop on what it's like on the other side of actually owning one. A lot of people comment or let me know in person, they always have a dream of opening a cafe or a small grocery store or like a little farmer's market. I want to give you the inside scoop this time around in this video and just let you know what to expect and how it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I want you to see what to expect before you get into it, because there's a lot of things that I wish I knew before starting, and I wouldn't change anything. I don't regret opening this store whatsoever. Sometimes when I give like the reality of behind the scenes, some people get that vibe from me, but I'm not trying to just sway you away from opening or kind of bring a negative vibe to opening a business. I just want to show you the reality of being an entrepreneur inside a small business and managing your finances, how difficult everything can be. So anytime someone opens a small business, whether it be a restaurant, a cafe, or a grocery store, retail store, convenience store, there will always be the risk of losing your initial investment. You cannot predict 100% that you will be a success. Of course, we all hope that we'll be a success, and no matter what with business, you have to risk it for the reward. If you're not willing to risk your investment, you should never really be in business in general. But I just want to put it out there that there's always a potential to lose every dollar that you put into your business. And unfortunately, this happens with many businesses, because you always see the stats flying around that 1 in 5 businesses don't make it to their first year, and 4 to 5 businesses don't make it to the 5th year. Restaurants are high risk, grocery stores are high risk. How can you compete with the big box stores? You're always going to see those stats flying around. It's up to you to calculate everything correctly, to mitigate your risk as much as possible, and maybe start with a smaller budget so you can you won't lose as much as possible if things that go sour. Because unfortunately in life, things can go up or down, and you have to be ready for either way. And let me tell you, we heard it all when we opened, the risk of business, or the risk of what fails and what doesn't, or what is best to get into, or please be careful with your money and don't get into something that's a 10-year lease. We heard all of that, and crazy enough, we did go against all of the unsolicited advice from people. When it is frustrating to always get that, you never know, it could fail, what happens if it fails? Nobody really wants to hear that, but you have to understand sometimes, and most times I'd say, if it's from people that actually care about you, it comes from a place of care. They don't want to see you get hurt or lose your investment or struggle. So, take that failure talk with a grain of salt. It's usually from people who either do care about you and don't want to see you lose, or there's other people that will discourage you because they failed, so they don't want you to do well in case it makes them feel inferior, we'll say. Number 2, and this is a big number 2. Alright, that probably shouldn't have been said like that, but it's okay. This one is that your small business will be a 24/7 hour job. And I'm telling you, the first year, 2 years, 3 years will be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life, because this type of business with perishables or with food will be more than 24/7. I'm telling you, you will go to sleep. Actually, it can't be more than 24/7. You will go to sleep dreaming about the food that you have to keep rotating out so it doesn't go old on you. Perishables will not wait for anybody. So anytime you're working with food, cafes, restaurants, grocery stores, convenience stores, we're looking at you guys. You will be working 24/7 to make sure that stuff looks perfect and you're not sitting on too much waste. So just know there will always be a phone call, there will always be an email that you have to get to, even when you're not at the store, you're working, even on your days off. For example, today we are supposed to be off because the store's closed on Mondays, but we're here looking through the inventory, making sure everything's fresh, restocking the shelves, taking inventory for the rest of the week. The reward is there, but make sure you know that it will never end. It doesn't go away. Food doesn't wait for anybody, and it's a 24/7 hour gig between customer service, social media posting, advertising, inventory management, actually working in the store, dealing with employees, hiring employees, firing employees. It never really ends. And it could be the most rewarding thing in your life, and it will be the most stressful thing in your life by far. But you know, as time goes on, you will get into the groove of everything, and things may get easier. But I truly don't think it ever stops with the 24/7 hour on your mind constantly. You will not punch out at 5 and stop thinking about work. You will constantly be trying to improve, and that's just the entrepreneur mindset, I think. When you go home, it's like, okay, how do we do better? How do we keep doing better? What's next? What do we got to change? What do we got to improve? What do we got to bring in? It is always on your mind, which is good and bad sometimes, because, you know, if you're focusing on your business when you're not at work, or you're not at your store or cafe or whatever it may be, you're using your time to build it, and you're using your, I guess, unpaid hours to keep growing and thinking about your next plan. So, mind you, before you get into something like this, and I know a lot of people comment that this is their dream, know that it will be a 24/7 hour gig, at least for the first 4 or 5 years, and then maybe you can take like a couple days off in a row. But just know that, and I really stress that because I didn't know how much work it was going to be, so I want to let you guys know that. So, why are you in business really? Why are you really in business? Because you want to make money, you want to follow your dreams, you want to make more than you ever did at a job, you want to be able to sustain yourself while working for yourself and while never having a boss again, right? It's not always that easy. I'm going to tell you from my personal experience, we didn't take a dime for ourselves the whole first year of working, both of us, 60 hours a week probably. We didn't take any money for ourselves through this store. We had enough to survive on. We kept our expenses low, which we can get into in another video. But don't think that you're going to walk into a small business like a cafe or restaurant or whatever it may be, and you're going to make fast cash and you're going to be able to hire employees right away and sit back and collect checks. Wrong. I'm telling you, even breaking even your first year is an accomplishment. There's so many expenses that you didn't even think about that will hit you so fast that you'll be like, okay, and how am I going to pay this? Who am I going to be paying first? Who am I going to be paying next? Your first year of business, if you break even, comment down below and let me know, because that is an accomplishment in itself, and you should be thanking, you know, the gods of business to break even in your first year, which I can happily say this store broke even in its first year, and it grew from there, and we are actually taking a decent salary in its third year. First and second year, very minimal. I'm telling you, some days you're not even going to be making minimum wage in your second year. In your third year, if you're making a good salary and there's other people working with you, you've done very well. But survival is the key before you make any money for yourself. Because in business, you're going to find that you constantly want to reinvest and constantly want to improve, that sometimes paying yourself comes last, and you don't want to fall into that trap. So making money in a small business may be one of the most difficult things of owning a business, because sometimes, and I'm telling you, a lot of people, they don't want to show a lot of profit. Why don't they want to show a lot of profit? So they don't have to pay a lot of taxes, that they don't end up, you know, taking a lot of salary for themselves, because they end up paying self-employment taxes, which aren't too friendly. And then they go to borrow money, and guess what? They didn't show much profit, they didn't make much of an income, and now it's even more difficult. So be aware when you're in small business that making money isn't as easy as you think. Okay, so I wanted to do this one in the back room because this is probably where you'll be complaining about customers the most. Just joking, we don't really do that, right, pal?
That's daily.
The customers that you love will outweigh any negative customers, so I just want to start with that. The customers you get a connection with, your regulars, will be worth, helping and serving and, building a friendship with sometimes. They'll outweigh all the negatrons that tell you, this store doesn't have this, the prices are too high, or the other store down the street has this and they do this better. There will always be those customers, and it's like not a lot of them. It's probably like 5 to 10%, depending on your store or cafe or whatever it may be, that will drive you crazy some days, and nothing can please them, and they're unsatiable. And some of those customers just really need to be shown the door. Other people, you have to put on a fake smile and deal with them until they're gone. And it's up to you kind of to build that tough skin to deal with that, because you will deal with that in any retail or restaurant business. You want to set up your employees for success. Probably let them know that it's going to happen. Don't take it personally. Build a customer service program, something that they can just know that what to do in case they deal with an irate customer. And that's not going to happen often, but I want to let you guys know, your customers, they will not always see things the way you want them to, and sometimes you just have to let things slide and just move on with your day, because there will be people that try to ruin it, and you still have another 7 hours or 8 hours to work. So just be aware, it's not all sunshine and rainbows when it comes to customers. Most of them are good. Some of them can be like real assholes. So number 5 will be food waste. No matter what type of business you own, grocery, retail, or restaurant, cafe, this will be one of your biggest problems, is food waste, because physically no one likes throwing things away, and it really pains me when we have to throw food away that didn't sell or expired. And having so much inventory, it's almost unavoidable. No matter if we discount things or try to sell them before they go bad, or there's always going to be some food waste, and managing inventory will be something that you'll always try to master, because you'll see that one week people will buy a product, like let's say we had apple pies. One week they'll fly, the next week you can't give them away for free, so where do they end up going? We have to throw them away. There's nothing we can really do with expired moldy pies. You can't really donate something that's not edible, right? And this happens because there's just so much inventory, and week to week people's perceptions change on items, or they don't have the taste for certain things. So you'll bring in, like, let's say you'll bring in fresh mandarins and everybody wants them, and then a week later nobody takes them. It's just a never-ending kind of game on what to bring in, how much to buy, and hopefully it sells at the right time, because you need to always keep it rotating, right? With cafes especially, pastries like cupcakes, they're not going to last more than a few days and stay fresh, right? So you always have to keep things rotating through, and it's always going to be one of your biggest expenses in your store is food waste. I'm talking sometimes hundreds of dollars a day, depending how busy you are. And sometimes if you're really not busy at all, you end up throwing more and more food away. So there always is going to be that problem, and that will drive you a little bit crazy sometimes when you watch your own money being thrown away into the garbage because you invested in some food. You want to sell it or make something out of it, and you did. You spent some time doing that, and guess what? It goes to the garbage because no one bought it. So just be aware, there will be a lot of food waste, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can minimize it as much as possible, but when you work with food, there'll always be things that you have to just get rid of, and it pains your soul. It's all part of the business, and I don't know if you ever really get used to it, but you learn how to deal with it a little bit better than when you started. So I have you guys stacked up on a bunch of cans of gravy right now, so hopefully this works and doesn't tip over. So I want to let you guys know this video is not to discourage anybody, like I said, but I just hear so many people dreaming, I can't wait to open my own cafe, I can't wait to open my own vegan restaurant, or my own small specialty boutique food store, or whatever it may be, even a clothing retail store. This all relates, and I just want to give you guys wanted to give you guys the inside scoop on like the reality that to really expect, because you know, watching something from the outside, and I'm guilty of this myself. You know, we walk into a cafe, you know, the owners or the workers are having a chat, talking to like one of the customers, and while they make like a beautiful, you know, cappuccino with the latte art, and it just looks like, oh, I could do that, I love doing that, it seems like such a great job. But behind the scenes, it's a lot different than what you see. It's sorry, I have a random truck here that just pulled up. I'm really not sure why. We're not even open right now, so I'm just gonna show you guys this. I'm really hoping this isn't a delivery. Oh boy. Yeah, so it was a delivery. It was a all dairy delivery, and you know, this is another issue. The deliveries are non-stop, and we're not even supposed to be here. It's almost 7 o'clock at night. They're really not supposed to be delivering anything after 3, and that's been noted over the last years, and they constantly keep trying and trying and trying. And I flexed and I let them come in because I feel bad for the drivers. I have to bring it, you know, back to the warehouse or whatever. But you know, at some point you just have to stand your ground. I don't know if they're coming back now. And realize that this, you know, you can't keep taking advantage of people like this. So they can bring it tomorrow when we're actually open. So that's gonna have to be. Sorry, I think they're staring at me. I have nice curtains though, so they can't see through. That's gonna have to be another thing on this list. Is, you know, you really have to be firm with your landlord, with you know, your suppliers. There's going to be a lot of people that try to sell you old food, and they don't let you know until you check, and they don't let you know, so you have to check your own dates, right? Everything has a date. You have to make sure you're getting the right dates, this and that. So it's just a lot to manage, and certain small examples like this where, you know, it's constant reminders, you know, we can't take deliveries after 3 because, you know, it takes another 4 hours to put everything away, and you can't leave dairy outside of a fridge, right? So I have to be here trying to stock it all. So no, that's really got to be something that I want to let you guys know. Just be firm. Customers, landlords, you know, any of your suppliers, employees, be firm. It's your business. That's why you became your own boss. Don't let anyone push you around and take advantage of you. So that's where I want to end this video right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It might be a little bit quicker. I'm not sure how much I rambled or talked this time around. But thanks for watching as always, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one.